Yo, 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 everybody. What is up? OCD Mikey, me, hi-fi guy, having another live stream audio show where you can call in and join the fun, or you can just comment, whatever you wish to do. And you can bring me up on all the local gossip because I don't pay attention. I don't watch any of the other YouTube channels. I don't read any of the magazines. I don't pay any attention to the industry because you know what? I don't need them. We don't need them. It's just for fun and games. You know what I mean? Just for fun and entertainment if you want. So, anyways, anybody got any good? Who's got some? Anybody got any good juice? Give me some juice. Give me some juice. It's been crazy weather here, rainy on and off. Which is nice because when I was back in Minneapolis, it was just, when it gets gray and overcast, but it doesn't rain. Like, what's up with that, man? It here in Georgia, if it's overcast, it's about ready to rain. And then it rains and then it goes away. And then that's it. So if it's overcast, San Francisco used to do that too. It would just get overcast and stay overcast and be just overcast all day long, which is never any good. Ship some more Fisher today. Some mini, well, they're not really mini, but the monitors, which are freaking 50 pounds a piece. Those went to Illinois, Evanston, Illinois, and they found their home there. So that's nice. Yeah, so that is what's up. And then looks like we might have, and then we know about the 470s. I told you about the 470s that are going, they just keep selling more and more and making more and more people happy. They're just happy with them. Oh, by the way, an announcement for those. What was I going to say? I may have somebody, this is a foreshadow. If anybody wants some Wilson Sasha V, there may be some coming up for sale within the tribe. So anybody interested in Wilson Sasha V, let me know and I can put you in contact. There's also availability on DCS Vivaldi. Is it? No, it's the Rossini. The Rossini and with the streamer and the Apex upgrade, all that. So a couple things that are coming up for sale. Again, I don't take trade-ins on stuff. I just put look, I could take these things on trade, underbid the client, give them 30% less than what it's worth, and then sell it to somebody else for full market value, make 30 points. That's what normal dealers do. But instead of trying to make money off my buyers, off their other stuff and hurting them that way, I just put the buyers together. So if you've got something to sell, let's say I'm selling you, a Playback Designs, and you want to sell your DCS or whatever, I'll help you sell it, and I'll find you the buyer, and you can get full market value. You don't need me to kick you in the nuts on it like everybody else. Good evening, Tommy. Mikey, do you still carry the NAT audio transmitter HPS? Yes, I have. Well, they're called the Transmitter Evo now. The latest one is the Transmitter Evo. Can I tell you about these amps? Yeah. I only carry one tube amp manufacturer, and it is NAT Audio. NAT is easily the best sounding tube amps that I have heard. And not to say they're the only ones, but they're the best ones that I've heard. For the money is ridiculous. If you compare what it costs to get, that much watts out of a single-ended triode, that's the key about NAT amps, is they are SET amps. You've heard of them called SETs or SET or single-ended triode. That is the best sound. It's better sound than push-pull, typically. What you'll find almost a dime a dozen are the KT120, KT150 type that usually have 4 KT88s or KT120s or KT150s. And then they have a couple three transformers behind them, a couple small tubes up front, and they're push-pull configuration. And those are good amps, but they're nowhere near Class A single-ended triode. That's what the Nat audio amps are. They're Class A single-ended triode. And the Nat amps go phenomenal with any speaker you put them with, but especially with Fisher and Fisher. That's the combo that I use. I use the top of the line Fisher and Fisher and the top of the line Nat Audio tube monoblock. They are very, very good amps. You can ask anybody that has one. If Dave Vanucci is watching, he's got one. I've got a handful of them across, and I don't know which people regularly come to the live stream to talk about them, but it's a great amp, Tom. And I've got two pair of Nat Audio Transmitter Evo that I bought at that I still have in stock. I knew the price was going up. The price has gone up. They're no longer 25 grand. They're 32 grand now. So the price went up $7,000. They're starting to come into, they used to be underpriced and they were like the best thing you could buy. You could have gotten the top of the line at one point for like 45 grand from me. That ship has sailed. Now they're basically, since I started selling them, they've doubled. And that's just along with everything else in hi-fi in the world. If you want the good shit, you have to pay. That's what it's getting harder and harder for me to find top level things at reasonable price points. But the Nat Audio Transmitter pair that I have right now, I have two pairs. Both of them have the Stage 2 silver wound input transformer upgrade, and the optional tube cages that go on there. And so I think that makes them, well, they're 32. I'd sell them for 25, including all the upgrades. So including $3,000 worth of upgrades. I'll sell them for 25. The two pair that I have one in black and one in silver. The silver is kind of rare. That one's kind of hard to find. So if that's they're phenomenal amps, Tom. I couldn't recommend them more. And just like with anything, I guarantee that you're going to love them, or you can have your money back. Hey, Big Fat Paulie, Mikey, and everyone. It's great to finally catch a live stream. Right on, man. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Percy, the mountain bike, crazy man. I've been spinning records for 2 years now because I had to sell some equipment. I just picked up a Lumen A1 and don't think I'll ever go back to LP. No need to save for some SN70s. I don't know what that means. Yeah, so the improvement that you heard from the Lumen A1, it even gets better because Lumen is base kind of baseline stuff. It's good. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad. But and there's no reason not to get SN70s if you want to improve. Trust me, after a while you're going to get used to what you got. But if you're totally happy and you're loving it, then all the power to you. That's really what we're after. So that would be great. Then you don't have to worry about it anymore. What's up, Tribe? Dano's in California. So here is our local brew tap meister. Dano has a company that puts in wicked brew taps for bars, like beautiful copper and just any kind of cool handles. I saw one with railroad spikes for the certain theme, and ones with like he can do like deer antlers and just whatever, all sorts of cool shit. And they're high level. He did a stadium. You did a stadium. He did some shit in the Padres Stadium or something. But Dano's high level. If anybody has a bar or is making a bar or even, wants something for their house, I suppose Dano would do that as well. Hey, Mikey, Nat Audio has replaced Magnetic with Magnetic Evo. Is the new model a substantial improvement? I have the Magnetic. Yes, that's right. I honestly don't know, man. I really don't know. I can ask what they improved. Um, I'll give you my honest opinion. My honest opinion is that they created the Evo line to have an excuse to double the price. Remember how I told you that any really good brand that was kick-ass, that seemed like it's a really good value, these are the ones that I like to get while they're in their Goldilocks zone I've talked about. Eventually, one time they just call you and they just, you get the price thing and it's like they've doubled the price. And it bothers me every time, because then all of a sudden my magic little thing that was such a great price, all of a sudden doubled. And Nat Audio is one of those. And what's been happening as I've been, watching this whole thing go down is when the Evo comes out, the price gets hiked. So the Evo transmitter is 32,000 from 25. It went up $7,000. It didn't double. But if we look at what the original transmitter was like 6 years ago or something, it's basically double at 32. So the things are going, the top of the line is now 96,000. So Nat Audio is becoming, it's not quite like WAVAC. If you've seen WAVAC, it's 250, they're in the real rarefied air. But I don't know. I really don't know. I don't necessarily think, they already sounded phenomenal. So what are they going to do? Maybe they make them heavier duty, so that maybe they, I don't know, so that they ship better. The only time I've ever had problems with that is something happens in shipping. And over the years, I've worked with them to start using Loctite, zip ties, silicone to just hold shit down so it doesn't jiggle while it's shipping, or come loose. Sometimes I've seen things come loose. And really, it's an easy repair. We just put it back on, we tighten it down, we put Loctite on it, blah, blah, blah. But they're coming from overseas, and they, so I don't know what they did with the Evo on the magnetic. I can find out more and I'll ask, but they're going through the whole line and turning everything into Evo, and then the price is getting hiked on everything. So I almost feel like it's sort of their way of substantiating the price hike is to make it an Evo. I feel like you contradicted yourself last time. Okay, let's discuss. You said that measurements are wrong. They're not wrong. They're just not a way to determine if something sounds good. Okay. Well, let me just read what you said. You said that measurements are wrong because we all hear differently. No, that's not what I said. And we should all buy what we like. So then why should we believe your opinion? You shouldn't. Don't believe me. I really don't care, brother. You need to believe somebody, right? Some people are so hell-bent on that they won't believe anybody but themselves. Those are the people that have to learn over 10 to 20 years of buying and selling and buying and selling. Then they educate themselves about what matches and what doesn't go well together and all that shit. Or you could trust somebody like me, cut to the chase, and I guarantee it, right? So you can trust what I say, and if it doesn't do what I say, then I'll give you all your money back. So there's no restock fee. There's nothing on the line for you. Okay. I pride myself on having better policy and better resolve than any other dealer out there, period. You can ask anybody. we've got 60 people watching right now. Typically we're around 100. By the time I get an hour into this, there'll be 100 watching. You can ask anybody here. You can just openly ask right now. You could call right now and ask anybody that's bought from me, because these are made up. These 63 viewers right now are made up of people that have bought from me, and they can tell you, I know my shit. The things that I sell them, they feel I totally got my money's worth. Okay. So let me go back and go through this so that you're a little more clear. Measurements. Okay. Let me explain this a little better. Measurements are for designers to do the broad strokes and to to figure out what they're going to do. So let's say they've got a speaker. I want the speaker to do this. They have to have a design goal in mind, right? We want it to go this low in bass, which is going to greatly change the efficiency of that speaker. And we want it to go this high, and we want it this efficiency, this ohms, and so forth. Or we want it to be more efficient, in which case it's going to have less bass. So if you measure a speaker and you say, oh, it doesn't have enough bass, well, maybe that's the design. Okay, because by giving it less bass, it makes it more efficient. So maybe they're not after a bass speaker. Maybe they're not selling to people that like bass. Maybe they're designing something for people with low-powered tube amps. A speaker designed for low-powered tube amps, by nature, does not have strong bass. In fact, many times you have to do elaborate cabinet designs to extract bass out of those drivers because they're not going to make bass naturally. You have to make folded back horns. You have to do all sorts of wild stuff. Many times they will use an active bass section, like a powered bass section. So measurements are for the designers to determine what they want to make and how they reach that goal. Measurements are not for people like you as a buyer to determine what sounds good, because it's effing possible to do so. Okay. But we know, I'm okay. I don't want to offend anybody, but it's like, if let's just say we're unscrupulous manufacturers, we're going to look at you like a dumbass. Okay. We're going to look at our buyers like dumbasses. Sometimes some manufacturers, they have just, they're laughing at what they do, and they don't give a shit. They're just going to put whatever spec because they know you buy for spec. So if I think you're a dumbass, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a speaker, and I'm going to, whatever, I'm going to put whatever specification because I want to, because you're going to believe that, you need to buy based on specification. Now, there are people, like you mentioned last time, ASR, Amir, whatever, doesn't even listen to music, probably isn't even into music, just plays test tones in a laboratory and measures speakers because he is the measurement police, okay? So there's a whole group of people that like to bust the manufacturers for not having proper spec, okay? To me, that's getting caught in the weeds. You're not in the area of what's important. You're in the area of busting manufacturers for falsifying specification. Whoop-de freaking do. It doesn't mean anything. All you know is that this company's full of baloney. So the way I look at it is every company's full of baloney. Everybody's full of baloney, and I want to listen to it first, and then I'll tell you if it sounds good. I don't give a shit what you publish as your spec. I don't give a shit what Amir, who doesn't listen to music, runs his little test tone through it in his laboratory with whatever questionable laboratory equipment he has that we don't that we don't know. And even if we did know it was totally good and totally calibrated by NASA every week, it still wouldn't tell us what sounds good. All it would do is bust manufacturers for fudging on their specification, because there is no governing body. You don't get in trouble for bullshitting spec in this industry. In different industries, that's called fraud, and you get busted for it and you get in trouble. This industry, you can say you can measure it in there is no standard for how to measure. So I could measure 1 kilohertz at half power. Like there's in an anechoic chamber, which nobody ever listens to, with a microphone 1 meter away or 1 foot away. There's so many different things that go into how the specifications are measured that it's not even a proper science, because everybody does it differently. There is no standard. Okay. So measurements are a way to get you stuck in the weeds. Okay. And really, as you say, you should buy what you like. Okay. But at some point, you need to decide if you're going to do my job. Okay. So let me try and make this a little easier to understand. Okay. Let's say you if you like sports, let's say, I don't even know, John Elway. Okay. So it's old. Like, I don't even pay attention. I don't even know who's the freaking best quarterback right now. Let's just say John Elway. Okay. And you wanted to learn football, and I was John Elway, and I just said, shut up and listen to me. Would you shut up and listen to John Elway? Teach you football? Yes, you probably would shut up and just listen to him. Well, I'm John Elway of freaking audio. Okay. At some point, you have to just realize it. Okay. Look at my track record, ask people, do a Google search of Mike Powell, Virastar, and look at my history. And by golly, for sure, question me. I might just be bullshitting you. I could be freaking AI right here, totally making shit up, right? Clearly I'm not, but I could be some guy faking, okay, that I'm a professional audio guy, because many people they can come on YouTube and just, they used to be a clerk at a store, and now all of a sudden they're freaking Elvis, audio Elvis, or whatever. They play characters. So you should question me. For sure, you should question me. Do your homework on me. Ask people who have bought from me. Google me, Google my name, look at my history, look at the Google results and how far back they go with me at shows. And then you can sort of get an idea, how long has Mikey been at this, and how long has he been an insider at this? I mean, I've got I've got a patent in cable design that you can look up. I've got 4 different trademarks in that date far back, so you can see history of trademarks of me with Audiofoil, with Grand Illusion, with Virastar, in cables. Cables is how I started. So you need to make a choice whether you want to believe me or not. Truly, I mean, you've got a great question, okay, and it is a great question. Why should you believe me? I say, don't believe me until you do your homework. Find out who the hell I am, and then make your decision, and do it the same with anybody else that you buy from. Find out who the hell they are. Are they just a business person that sits in a retail store and they do this as a business? Are they even audiophiles? Some of them are not. And if you ask them, some of them will be honest and tell you. I remember a guy in Chicago that's a big discounter, and he's always selling stuff. And I contacted him up. This was before, in my earlier years, and I wanted to buy something. I actually wanted to ask him about a certain pair of speakers, to ask him why are you selling them or whatever. But it turned out he was a dealer. So I started asking him some questions about the panels before I went and bought my analysis. I asked him about them. And the way he was answering my questions, I'm like, this guy he's giving me super generic questions. Oh, they sound great. Yeah, they sound great. Oh, they're real good. And I'm like, well, what exactly do they sound like? Do they have good dynamics? Do they have good, what are they like in the mid-range? Is there dynamic shading, or whatever I was asking? I could just tell immediately the guy was not an audiophile. And I asked him, are you an audiophile, or do you just sell this stuff? He said, I really just sell this stuff. I'm not an audiophile. Okay. So if you're buying from somebody I am absolutely an audiophile. I'm a pain in the ass connoisseur. I'm like that with everything I buy. I will not, and I've had this conversation. We can go through anything that I buy, my watches, my guns, my cars, my anything. Okay. None of it is cheap Chinese shit. I will spend and I research, and many times I rely on other people, like watches, for instance. Okay. To learn about Swiss watches, that can take you years and years and years to find out which ones are for show and which ones are for go, which ones are the real handmade, handcrafted Jeju Le Culte, or which ones are the Rolex machine made, that everybody recognizes more than anything, but aren't as good as a real watchmaker's watch, right? And I have to trust people. I go to people that I trust. Use your street smarts, okay? Use your street smarts. Just go by your gut, man. Do you feel like inside, like I'm an honest guy, or do you feel like I'm full of shit? You should have some sense inside, in your heart of hearts, your knower. You should get an instinct. as to if somebody's full of shit or not. Are they trying to pose a certain way? Are they trying to look good? Are they trying to always look good? Those are the kind of things that kind of give you a maybe the guy's got a con going because he's trying to look good all the time. He's trying to talk nice all the time. He's trying to, and then there's guys that are just straightforward, right? That just, they're not putting on a game. Hopefully, I would imagine you can tell from me, I'm not putting on a game. I'm very direct. I say what I feel. I don't have a filter many times because I'm not trying to hide anything. Okay. If you don't like me, then don't buy from me. There are plenty of people that buy from me every single day that understand my integrity and that can tell that I'm genuine, and that have listened to my systems. I have won awards for systems at shows, best in show awards. I'm consistently in those rooms. So, and you can ask people again that bought from me what the result is. And that's how you tell. So, I don't know. I didn't contradict myself. Measurements are not wrong. Measurements are used for design, and measurements are not any way to determine if something sounds good. So I still stand by that. We do all hear differently, but shitty sound is shitty sound. There's very few people that I could really throw some shit ass sound on that would say that sounds great. Okay, so there's little variances between how we hear, and namely, it's our ear pinna that has different. Each one of our ears has a different EQ curve. Okay, so we all hear a little differently, but generally speaking, I can put a Fisher and Fisher speaker with anybody, and nobody says it doesn't sound good, unless if somebody does, they're trying. They have an ulterior motive, because there are certain things. It's like saying a Porsche doesn't drive good. There's people that maybe don't like Porsche, okay? But you can't say Porsche. Hang on a second here. Hey Dan, hold on. Let me put you on the live stream. Hold on, man. Let me see here. Hold on, buddy. Okay, here we go. Okay, so gang, hold on. Dan, you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay, wait. Let me see. It's still not. Still don't have you patched in. Can you say hello again?
Hey, how you doing?
Okay, there you are. Can you talk more into the phone? Let's see. It doesn't sound like it's very loud.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, perfectly.
Awesome.
What's up? Welcome to the show.
Well, I appreciate it. Listen, I'm a little bit late chiming in, but I know you're answering a question by Jay, and I thought I'd call in immediately because I want to put Jay at ease about your expertise. Mikey, as you know, I've known Mike Powell for at least 6 years, and I'm his patent and trademark attorney. I've done a number of filings for him on behalf of the trademark office. I know of his patent work. It's truly innovative work. One could argue that patents are a dime a dozen. Even I have a patent on cable design, but it's nothing like what Mike's got for cable design. He's got a truly innovative product, revolutionary in my estimation. But I think that one thing I think people should understand about Mikey is that he has a lot of knowledge about the way systems are set up, how systems are integrated, and about how to extract the most from your system. He's got numerous YouTube videos that delve into this topic at nauseum. I encourage people to check out his channel and look at those YouTube videos. From system setup, from how to buy wire and buy amp your system, how to do proper speaker placement, and so forth. So I think that and the other thing I want you to tell you is that Mikey is when he becomes your friend and when he becomes your dealer, he's not simply a guy selling you audio crap. Okay, he does that. He sells you audio crap, but he does adopt you as a friend, as a consumer supporter of your endeavor for achieving enjoyment of music. And I'll relay a really brief story. Mikey sold me a Jay's Audio piece, uh, probably in 2018, 2019 era, and the CD, it's a CD transport, basically, a Redbook player transport. It crapped out on the remote control. So I arranged with Alvin to Vincent Audio to give me an upgrade kit. And I was telling Mikey about my travails with Alvin, and Mikey said, "What the hell are you doing? Why aren't you streaming? Don't you have MPSX in your system?" I said, "I do, Mikey. You know I do." I said, "Well, why aren't you streaming, bro?" And so he got me hooked on streaming, and now I'm a big avid fan of streaming. And I'm like knee deep in streaming technology right now, and it's only because Mikey pushed me to that objective. I doubt seriously, as I told Mikey earlier tonight by text, I doubt seriously I'll ever buy another CD ever again.
Yeah, after getting a streamer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The streamer is set up. I'm totally addicted to it. I'm still a big vinyl guy. You can't strip that from me, bro.
No.
But
I have no intent
but
to. Yeah.
but it is what it is. He has his OCD habits. I have mine, and we respect each other for that point. The thing though that I want you all to know is the fact that he knows his stuff really well. He backs his customers in achieving their best out of the system, and gives his utmost concern and care to ensuring that the best solutions are available to his customers. And he's done this on my behalf on numerous occasions. And I think that's testimonial enough that I want to talk about tonight.
Cool.
And hey, good evening, Troy. I'm Drago. I'm checking in from Davison.
Thanks, brother.
All right.
Okay,
Talk to
man.
you soon, Mikey.
See you.
Bye.
Okay, so there was Jay. There's Dan, one of my clients. Shit, he's bought, I don't know, his last 6 pieces of things for me. The speakers that I just shipped today went to him. And he bought an MPD8, and he bought an MPSX, and he bought a Jeff Rowland 555, and he just bought a pair of AGD duets. And his first piece he bought was that Jay's Audio Transport from way back when. So yeah, and we could, if I asked people to call in, Jay, we would have a full hour of person after person after person after person, just like Dan, telling you the same thing. And that's kind of how I do business. I don't feel right unless you are absolutely stoked about what I've sold you. You must be stoked. That's why my policy isn't that it works when it shows up. It's that you're thrilled with it. It's got to be tremendous. You've got to be completely thrilled. If you're not thrilled, you can send it back. I don't even care. I don't have to, it doesn't have to be broken. It doesn't have to be anything. I'm not going to tell you it's your audio system or your ears aren't hearing it. I'm going to take it back because I know immediately someone else is going to buy that piece. It really doesn't matter. So I don't need to get hung up on any one person's sale. So hopefully that helps you feel a little bit better. If you have any more questions after this thing, just type it back, man, and I will I'll clear it up. Yo, tribe, great PN Pacific Northwest here. Rev is in from Seattle, which I will be visiting this summer. I'll be doing a Pacific Northwest tour. Anybody that's up in that area that wants to see Mikey, I'll be headed to Portland to see my boys in Portland. I think I got 3 people to see in Portland. I've got Rev to see up in Seattle, and there's got to be a couple more humanoids in Seattle for Mikey to see. So holla at a brother. Steve DeHardy bought a Triumph a couple days back, man. He loves his ride. Steve's a fellow motorcyclist. He was out of it for a while, but jumped back in, and he just bought a Triumph. If Andrew is watching right now, Andrew the motorcycle racer, we just call him Andrew the motorcycle racer because he's a instructor with Sport Bike Track Time. He knows how to shred. He knows how to flog a bike. Anyways, Steve, Andrew has a Triumph too. He's got a Tiger, and Steve just bought a Tiger. So a Tiger 800. I think Andrew's might be a 12. And I've got a multi 12, man. We got to go riding, brother. We're going to do it. I meant now I need to save for SN70s. There you go. I was a little concerned, man. I was like, what do you mean you don't need to save for SN70s? You totally want those things. I just sent them to Dan. He's got like 4 pairs of speakers, man. He's got some big, I think he's got Dunleavy's. He's had some of the greatest stuff. So we'll hear about the SN70s. Oh, which by the way, let me see. Let's see. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so where am I? Where am I? What I want to do is, I'm having it. There it is. Okay. May I call Jim? What I'm going to do, I'm going to call Jim, who just bought some Fisher & Fisher 270s last week. I think he's had 1 week with them. Let's call him up. They're probably not even broken in. He's still breaking them in. Let's call him up and ask him how his Fisher & Fishers are. Yes, it is an insane deal on the Nat amps. They're ridiculously good amps. Single-ended, they're massive, beautiful amplifiers. You cannot touch anything like that under $30,000, and that's why I was so hip on Nat for the longest time, is because they're such a good price. And I'll still sell them at the old price. So here we go. We're calling Jim in De Pere.
Hello, this is Jim.
Hey, Jim, it's Mikey. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great.
Welcome.
You're doing 2 things at once.
Yeah, well, welcome to the live stream, brother. So you're in. How do you say that? De Pere?
De Pere is the way to say it. Yeah.
Okay. De Pere, Wisconsin, man. So I was telling the tribe that you got your 270s last week. I think you've maybe had a week with them.
They sound great. I've been very happy with the sound. It was pretty easy to set up. I'm sure I don't do all the tweaks that you know how to do with them, but I was able to put them in and get great imagery. The bass is incredible. I've come from, I'm getting the overtone of your program.
Oh yeah, just turn down your computer or whatever.
Yeah, but the sound is very sweet. The AMS tweeters are very good.
Yes, right. Are they sharp at all?
No, not really. I mean, I might have some sounds from my DACs and stuff that make my sound a little bit higher than it should be, but
yeah, they could be
over time. I have the equipment I'm using right now is I've got when I retired 10 years ago, I decided to get into I was into audio way back when, but to do it again, I bought PS Audio Stellar stuff, and So right now I'm using the M700s monoblocks,
Okay.
the direct stream DAC
Yep.
with the bridge, and I've got the air lens now.
Okay. Excellent. And what were the speakers that you had before the Fisher and Fishers?
I have a pair of Magnepan .7s and the Zoo Audio Union 6.
Okay. And how do the Fishers compare to those two comparatively?
Well, the Magnepans are fairly flat in the long run. I mean, they don't move the air as much, pressurize the room. The Zoo Audio do a good job on that, but perhaps extenuate the bass a little more, and the tweeters aren't quite as clear.
Got you. So the realism is a little is the best.
The
with
realism.
with
Realism
the
is great. Yeah, very natural sound.
Sure. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, man. I mean, are you happy with them? Did you feel you got your money's worth?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, that's what's important, man. If you want to get them tweaked, you can always call me at any time. I can spend some time with you and we can look at where they're set in the room. I can give you some pointers based on the photographs. You just take some photos with your phone and text them to me, and I can look at how you've got them set up, and I can see if there's anything that stands out to me as like, oh, let's fix this or let's do that, and see and make sure that you're getting the most out of them. So I'm happy to do that.
Okay, at this point, I'm very satisfied. I don't see. I mean,
Okay.
I'm sure you'd find something, but it's not going to be very much.
Okay, well, good. I mean, as long as you're really happy, and we've also got some AGD Audions coming your way very shortly, so that will be very good as well. You're gonna be real happy with
And
those.
I'm sure I've got more opportunities in the future for buying things.
Sounds good, buddy. I'm here for you.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay,
Mike.
Thanks for your time, Jim.
All righty.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
cheers. See you. Okay, so there's Jim. Just bought some of the Fisher and Fisher speakers. And I've got guys coming now to look at the big ones. I've got some local folks coming Friday and Saturday to listen to the big Fishers. These are guys that the last time I saw them, we were listening to $375,000 Wilson Chronosonic XVX. And so we will compare. We were listening to a $1 million system. They will come and sit to my rig, and we will comment on how my $200,000 rig compares to the $1 million rig. I won't do a video because I don't want to, them to feel like anything, but I will. But that's what we'll be doing so that you know. So yeah. So Tommy, if you want some amps, give me a holler. I'll take care of you. No worries. Good evening, hi-fi freaks. You know it. Stereo. Tom, that deal is good. Dano knows. Dano, are you in South Dakota? No, Dano is in Scottyland. What's up, tribes people? What's up, Jasper? Welcome. North by San Jose. Oh, that's where. Oh, that's right. San Diego. Yeah, you're in. That's right. I forgot you're in California right now. North by San Jose. I completely trust my dealer, and if I would have met you before him, I would have bought my drugs from you. I mean, audio equipment. I'm sorry. No, it's all good, man. It's all good. I get a lot of people that say that. I'm glad you're happy with your dealer, because many people have been through so many dealers, and they finally get to me and they're like, oh my God, Mikey, thank God I finally met somebody that I feel like I can completely put my trust in, and all it takes is that one first little sale to just try one thing that I tell you is good, and then see if I know my stuff. Hey tribe, I forgot about the live stream tonight and turned on my big rig. I sent Mikey some pictures. Teddy Swims on vinyl. There you go, man. Sweet. Thanks for checking in, Mark. Mikey is the real deal. I bought speakers without listening to them. A lot of people do that. I have the majority by far of the speakers I sell are people buying based on my word. And of course, my YouTube, they can listen to what I play on YouTube. Just had a real conversation with Mikey. Yep, there are the best speakers I've ever owned, and I've been buying for 35 years. Sweet, buddy. Thanks for the feedback, man. I appreciate that. I'll watch the video and give it a like tonight. Right on, Mark. Thanks, buddy. Measurements are for manufacturing, and try to put numbers on something so build consistency can occur. That's right. Measurements are helpful, but there are some things that we cannot measure. There are, the aliens, baby. Oh, which speakers, Dano? They were Vienna Acoustics, top of the line. Rev, do all KT88 sound the same? No, they are all KT88. Metallurgy, materials, manufacturing methods matter. Yes, very true. Vienna Acoustics, D Music. Wow, nice. Those are pretty serious. They are very, very good. Top of the line. Specs are guidelines, just guidelines. This is why there are IEEE standards to try and create norms, but it doesn't tell you whether something sounds good. That's right. That was just my point. Jim, Mike, I've noticed some magic effect that occurs in the evening around 8 to 9 p.m. It seems like system sounds much better, more defined and smoother. Is this because of power, network, or placebos? No, it is a documented thing. What happens is people get up off the grid. People are on the grid all day long, like the factories and all the companies and all that stuff. And then in the evening time, all those businesses close down, the factories shut their machines down and whatever. And the power is cleaner at night. So once you put in a good power conditioner, Jim, I don't know if you bought a Puritan Audio PSM 156, but I recommend a power conditioner or power filter, which cleans your AC power. And then you will notice that less because just things are quieter during the night, so you have a blacker background because the sun's not out. Ah, man. It's so funny. But true. It does. That is something that there is. You're not imagining it, Jim. Ground Zero says it's grid noise. That's right. Equitech ISO transformers will give you that all the time. Yes, exactly. And others as well. Joey, baby, do the transmitter Evos have bottom end slam? Like you wouldn't believe, brother. I've been missing that since I sold my Delta Monos and have been through a couple amps chasing it. Love my Luxman MQ88 OG 115 as it's the best in-house now. Yeah, that's one thing about all NAT amps. They have massive transformers, so they have tons of bass slam. They're no joke, and you can crank them up, and they do not falter. Ask DeHardy, who's watching. He came here. DeHardy is a big critic, man. That guy is tough. He makes his own speakers, and he thinks the expensive gear is all bullshit, and he's got a way to do it with cheap chi-fi stuff that he, and he does a great job, right? But he's a big critic. It's very hard to make him say, wow. And he came and we listened to the Nat audio amps here, and I turned it up just to show him what they could do. And he was like astounded that they didn't clip and that they could do all that bass and everything out of these giant speakers that are 1.9 ohm out of a single freaking vacuum tube because it's a Nat audio. That's why. G Kelly says, I know I am slow to the uptake, but I just noticed the bears in the background. Very nice, Mr. Garcia. You know it, man. You know it. Yes. Did I do that right? Yes. Like this. This is the pick in hand. You always know it's that finger because it's like you can imagine he was giving somebody the finger and then they chopped his finger off. So yeah, I'm an old Garcia fan. And more than anything, it just denotes love and happiness, right? I'm really a hippie at heart, except I like to take a shower. Stereo, where are you located, homeboy? I'm Rick James, bitch. I know that one. Just because it costs money, it means crap. That's right. Rolex probably has a $200 cost, but sells for $20K. Complete bullshit, dude. Yeah, totally. I have one Rolex that I traded for, but I don't wear it. I don't even like Rolexes, and I know they're great watches. I don't like them. I choose other things that, you know what? My watches don't get noticed by like girls. Like a Rolex is what chicks notice, right? A dude, like an astute dude that knows his watches will recognize my watches. Watch people recognize my watches. Chicks recognize Rolex. So that ought to tell you something. And I saw a video just not too long ago that said something about Rolex being made in Shenzhen, like the parts or the movement or something like that. I mean, that sounds like pretty tall story, but and I honestly don't believe it until I see it. But yes, exactly. Rolex is the name makes it expensive. They're not handcrafted, they're machine made. Like, and I'm not sure about this exact model, but many of these brands, there's like one dude that made this, and then he's like, filing the little parts to get them to fit properly, and then one dude from start to finish does the whole thing. Those are the kind of things that I like, just because then you're getting what you paid for. So I pay attention to stuff like that. And then for those that don't know my background, I owned an amp manufacturer in California, and I paid all the vendors, and I know how much everything costs because I was an amplifier company. So I know how much it costs to get a board made. I know how to tell a cheap board from a good board. I know how much it costs to get them stuffed, what's involved, how much the toroids cost, what's the most expensive thing in an amp, how much, the chassis cost, what a cheap chassis costs, how do you cut corners to make them less expensive and easier to manufacture. So I have very keen eyes when I look at gear. I'm not just some retailer. I open the shit up and I look inside to determine how is this thing made. And it can tell me a lot about the company. And then I know if their marketing is bullshit or if they're really built well. I can tell this. We all have different taste buds, and we should all eat what we like. So why should we believe a master chef's opinion? What does one have to do with the other? I mean, are you that naive, bro? I mean, I think he's just trying to just throw a troll statement out there, but it's a very naive statement, right? Like, you could like grape Kool-Aid and hot dogs, and by all means, if that makes you happy, eat them, but it does not make them good food by normal standards. Okay. And it's the same with food. There's something called the James Beard, whatever it is, James Beard. Okay. And there's a governing body for that. They vote and they figure out who are the best restaurants, and it's unanimous. Those are the best restaurants. It is the best food for sure. And if you don't like it, that's fine. That's your own thing, but it doesn't mean it's not the best food. It is the fucking best food, period. So that's how this works, bro. It's the same with audio. There is good sound, and then there's analytical, hi-fi, fakey sounding shit. If you like it, all the power to you. Buy the fakey, hi-fi sounding shit. If you like cheap ass chi-fi, if you like a JB, if you like a frickin', what are those things called? The Tune Tot, or no, that's Wilson. What are they called? The Amazon Dot. Let's say you think that's the greatest thing. Many people think Amazon Dots are great, or Sonos is great. Cool, freaking buy it, man. Don't even get into the hobby, okay? But then there are people that are hobbyists that have discerning taste. They're called connoisseurs, okay? And we very much exist. And we're in our own trip. And if you don't understand our trip, we don't care, quite honestly. So anyways, Peridot, if I'm saying it right, he likes what he likes. Don't show me something new and try to make me level up. Who the fuck are you? I'm your boss, bitch. All right, I'm done. Just basic logic, guys. Good Lord. Then don't involve yourself. Don't be a hi-fi dude. If you're into your own shit, then cool. I'm happy for you, dude. I'm not trying to talk you into shit. Let's talk about music. Let's see what you know about music. Now we're really cooking with fire, bro. Prove to me that you're a music person, because who gives a shit about the frickin' tool, the damn piece of equipment, stupid shit that we use to listen to music. It's unimportant. What's important is the music. Do you know music? That's where the rubber meets the road. You want to impress me? It's not that you're happy with your shit. It's that you know about music. Then you can put me in my place. Show me that you know more about music than I do. then I will respect. But fucking the gear is the stupid shit, bro. These are things, man. They're not important. What's important is the things that you can't buy. That's what's important in life. This stupid shit is just stupid shit that is a distraction that keeps us distracted from spirituality. If you really want to get into it, don't I'm not some dildo that thinks expensive gear is something special. It's not. It's just a freaking tool. Okay. But what is important is the experience that it creates. Okay. I buy things for experience. I buy a car based on the driving experience. That's why I buy my cars, on how I feel when I drive it. I don't give a shit about much of anything else. Sure, it's got to be reliable, and some other standard things, but I buy for the experience. I eat expensive food for the taste experience. I smoke expensive cigars for the taste experience. I listen to music for the pleasure of listening experience. So either you're experiential and you have heightened senses, or you don't. And either way, neither one is wrong. Neither one is wrong. Dano, you're not far from me. I'm 30 minutes south of Sacto. There you go, buddy. Tony, are you rocking some equipment from Mikey? I don't know, Tony D. I don't think so. But he's probably got a rig. You guys could still hang out. You guys are both tribe, sounds like. Or do you need a draft system? There you go, man. Nice, Jim. Enjoy. Yes, man, he will. Hello, Mikey Squad. What's up, Will? Tony D bought a DAC 07. Oh, you did? Okay, cool, man. Sorry, I didn't remember. Bought a DAC 07 from Mikey. Also got a Sublime crossover and a Rhythmic sub on my recommendations. Looking at getting Fisher SN 270s next. Yeah, man, Tony, you'll be really happy with those. There's no question. There is no question. They will outperform what you absolutely think. YouTube does offer some sound demo videos, some very good. Yes, you can't really tell necessarily. You can compare things, right? Like based on YouTube's compression and all that stuff, you can compare things and see what things sound like under shitty conditions, right? And recorded from a phone, for Christ's sake, right? But if it sounds kick-ass, all shitty conditions considered, I only record using this damn phone, and it's got a case on it. I don't even take the freaking case off. I record through those damn little holes on the bottom. That's how I record. And if it sounds good with all that shit in YouTube compression, you can bet it sounds good in person. Sweet. I'm looking to get the MPD8. Yes, buddy. There you go. I ran a dedicated line just for my system from main panel. Sound is much more consistent. Yes. It's always good to run a dedicated line. Get it away from like the refrigerator and all that other crap. Andy, what's up, Mikey and Tribe from Des Moines? What is up, brother? Is it correct that MPD8 is a better quality than Redbook CD? It can't be. Okay. If so, I mean, I don't understand what the question is. If so, at which price point does streaming get superior? Okay, so are you talking MPD8 is the DAC, the streamer is the MPSX? Only at MPD8 level, or would there be a solution at a lower price point? Okay. I think I get what you're talking about. For me, it was not. I was able to. Well, let's see. It wasn't okay. So that was a rip. I remember the first time I heard a laptop plugged into my CD player, which was a $6,000 CD player that had an input for USB, so you could use it as a USB DAC. And somebody came by with a laptop and played a song off a laptop that was either a vinyl rip or it could have been a CD rip. I can't remember, but it was off his laptop and it sounded better than the disc that I was spinning. And at that point I was like, oh, Jesus, now I got to embrace this streaming thing. I didn't want to. I was so clutched onto my discs for so long. And that was with a with a $6,000 DAC. So no, it doesn't take MPD8 level. MPD8 is the final stopping point. You don't need anything better than an MPD8 ever. Thoughts on AudioQuest cables? Not my thing. I've always preferred MIT. Also not my thing. Lately, Siltech. Those are good. Just seems like AudioQuest changes the name of their cables and are fake commercial BS. Yeah. I mean, look at AudioQuest. Look how big they are. Look how look at the volume in which they need to make their cables. Look at the fact that the dealers get 70 points on those things. You know, it's just, if you make something in that great of volume, you can't make it really high end. It's just like a Ferrari V12, right? Can you make that in any sort of quantity? No, you can't. There's just not a way to scale that. Okay. The highest quality stuff cannot be scaled into mass production. So anything that is made in high numbers is usually never the best sounding things. They're made for it's a widget at that point, and it's just made to sell volume. It's just like a formula on a spreadsheet is what it is. So AudioQuest cables are formulas on spreadsheets. There's nobody really sitting there caring about hand making something in a creative fashion. So it's not my thing. I make speaker cables. Very shortly, you will see my brand up and going, and I'll be wholesaling them to you guys since I'm making them. So I don't, and MIT has the little box in the thing. It seems like MIT has faded out and Transparent has come up in their place, you know, as being the cable with the box in the middle. And then Siltech, I'm not so, I think Stealth was the one that I had more respect for. Siltech might be good too. I don't know, man. These are all things that I don't follow, you know, but yeah, I think any of those are probably better than AudioQuest. I would say Siltech first, MIT second, AudioQuest third. Bo says, hey, Tribe, Mikey, what do you think is the best way to add atmosphere when having a music session? Unlike to watch 4K, psychedelic, or nature clips, wingsuit, except how so best, what to do? Best way to add atmosphere when having a music session. What are you talking about? Like three-dimensionality in the Sonic? A DAC. The DAC is usually what does that, you know? So, haha, I was responding to Jay's comment. Glad you agree. Oh, okay, cool. Got you. Right on, man. Looks like he disappeared. Listening after midnight. Yes, right. Yeah, a lot of people say that, David. Welcome. Sound Sommelier has some good sound demos. I like that one on YouTube. Cool. I don't know anything about any of the other channels, unfortunately. Oh, so what's the latest gossip? Who's got anybody here? Anything goofy and stupid? Like, what's the latest goofy, stupid shit you've heard? There's a lot of goofy, stupid shit in this industry. Somebody's got to have something. Bo, add a hybrid gummy. That elevates everything for me. Yeah, there you go. That'll add the atmosphere that you need. Little THC. I can't even do that shit anymore, man. It's just like, it's too strong. So, anyways, okay. It looks like we've got a slow down point. It's an hour in. I'm going to bail, because I want to go chill. I will see you all on Sunday for the next, live stream. Thanks everybody for joining tonight, and I will see you all on Sunday. See ya.